Hello everyone and welcome back to the next installment of our 10.2 raid guides, proudly presented by Kingston FURY. This is Crazy Puck for Method, and today we'll show you how to defeat Smolderon in Mythic Amirdrassil. For all of our Mythic videos, we'll assume you know the fight and its mechanics on heroic difficulty. As such, these videos will show you the Mythic mechanics and focus on the strategy to defeat the Mythic version of the encounter. If you need a refresher on any of the baseline heroic abilities, check out the heroic guide for the encounter on our channel. This fight is a big step up from the previous 6. We recommend 2 tanks, 4 healers, 14 DPS, and some water and snacks. You're going to be here for a bit. This is your typical sludge fist style fight, a massive numbers check for both DPS and healing, along with a small number of mechanics that can nuke your raid. Aside from the numerical requirements being much higher, there's really only 2 mechanical changes, but one is dramatically more impactful. During the primary phase, after each cast of the overheated brand combo, 3 Seeking Inferno orbs spawn on random non-tank players. These orbs fixate on their target, exploding for raid-wide damage when they reach that target. This also applies a 3-second debuff on the raid, causing subsequent orb explosions to deal 2000% increased damage, which basically is just an instant wipe. Orbs also expire if they aren't touched after 30 seconds, exploding. Anyone who gets touched by an orb, especially those that are not targeted, get hit with a 4-second dot that ticks pretty hard. Seeking Inferno is really the hardest part of this fight, as it's extremely easy to mess these up and nuke the raid. Also, the orb fixation is a private aura, so weak auras cannot assign soak orders for you by themselves. However, you can actually work around this by clicking a macro while using one of the major weak aura packs. Both the Liquid pack and the Northern Sky pack by Relo have weak auras that detect a specific macro, which is detailed on their respective weak aura pages. We strongly recommend using one of these packs and the macro they have listed. Doing so creates a list for you, showing your raid leader who has the orbs, allowing them to call out who should detonate theirs and when. As a general priority system, you want healers to clear first, then melee, then range. However, do not take it upon yourself to clear. Wait for the raid leader to call out who's next. An important note, orbs can spawn directly on top of you if you aren't careful, triggering it immediately. Make sure you're looking at where the orbs are spawning. While the rest of the primary phase mechanics are the same, everything hurts way more and is way more dangerous. And because of how tight of a DPS check this boss can be, maximizing your available space on the platform is a necessity. During the first overheated and brand soak, you'll want the overheated targets to spread out like this. After the flame waves spawn, you have 5 seconds to reach your bait spot as shown on the diagram. Everybody needs to get there and stack tightly, ensuring you're dodging the flame waves on the way. This will keep all of the puddles spawned tightly together near that skull marker. When the second overheated brand combo comes out, the overheated targets need to spread differently, ensuring they're standing somewhere that it's okay to spawn puddles. This is because the second set of puddles spawns nearly instantly after the flame waves, meaning you don't have time to adjust or move to a bait location. You'll wait to have overheated players spread out like this, ensuring every targeted player is in a location that it'd be okay to have a puddle. Don't get too close to the center of the room, or you can spawn a puddle up there, which would make the intermissions much harder. Aside from baiting and flame waves, there's a couple other things here for the primary phase. The tank that gets overheated can generally just drop it on top of an existing puddle, as standing in puddles doesn't really do much to tanks. The other tank, who'll have the Brand of Damnation, can then just run through the puddles to run away from the raid for the explosion. If there's any gaps in the area from old puddles, those are prime locations for someone to stand in during the second overheated. Lastly, if you soak to the brand circle, don't forget that when your absorb shield is healed off, you explode within a small circle. Make sure you aren't standing on top of people for this. Just a note, the second overheated brand combo is always going to be way harder than the first for each primary phase. You need to watch your feet and be very careful. Following the second combo and the puddles, you'll get your second set of Seeking Inferno orbs. The great news here is that at least one, if not 2 of them, will likely still be up as you start the intermission. That means that 1 or 2 of your players will need to watch where their big orb is, watch where their small living flame buff orbs are, watch the dance circles, and also try not to run over friends with a big orb, all while trying to maximize the amount of damage they can deal to a boss during the burn phase. Sounds fun, nice, and easy. Thanks, Blizz. This is extremely hard and will be a huge source of wipes for you. Don't get frustrated, you'll need a large part of your raid to learn how to handle that set of mechanics together, which will take a few tries. As for the intermission itself, it's basically the same as Heroic with two minor changes. First is that the rings explode faster. To help counter this, we recommend using one of the plethora of weak auras that shows which areas are safe. Second, any living flames you miss and reach the boss now buff his damage by 5% instead of 3%, making it even more vital that you don't miss any of these. If you have more than 2 or 3 of those living flames reach the boss and buff him, you're probably just going to die. Once you complete the first intermission, congrats, you've learned the fight. You'll repeat that 2 more times, then kill the boss. Unfortunately, it's obviously quite a bit harder said than done, but the reality is, once you've reached 1 minute and 40 seconds in, with everyone alive, you've managed to see basically the whole fight. From there, it's just practice to get to the final burn phase. During the final burn phase, which is after the third intermission, you do want to change your positioning up a bit. The room will be covered in fire puddles, with a slice left open. You'll want to drop overheated to the sides, along with the existing puddles on both sides, like this. Focus on keeping this green area open and clear. You don't need a stacked bait location either, just be towards the edge near the existing fire. Utilizing this positioning actually helps make this last burn phase mechanically a bit easier than earlier parts of the fight, letting you focus more on nuking off the last bits of health from the boss. Blow everything you have left and cut down the new Fire Lord by his knees. If you enjoyed this guide, remember to like it and make sure you're subscribed to the channel to catch all of our previews, guides, kill videos, and more. A big thank you again to Kingston FURY for making guides like these possible. From everyone here at Method, have a great day, and we'll see you next time.